Welcome to the Nehemiah Entrepreneurship Community Podcast. I'm your host, Patrice Sagay. I'm here today in studio with two ladies you know very well, Wendy and Deborah. Wendy and Deborah, welcome to the studio.
It's great to be back, Patrice.
Yes.
Hey, it's exciting to be here for today, Patrice. What a great topic.
Since you guys have had take a breath, you guys have abandoned me.
Well, you'll have to come take a breath with us, you know.
I do. Well, we have a special guest today, Wendy and Deborah here in studio, because we're talking about the relaunch of biblical entrepreneurship in Haiti. And we have with us today Pastor Genty. Pastor Genty is a senior pastor of a local church in Haiti. He's also, Pastor Genty, you also teach in a theology school. Is that correct?
Yes, I've been a professor at STEP Seminary, Séminaire de Théologie Évangélique de Port-au-Prince, for the last 30 years.
And so you're going to hear a bit about him. We are so excited for Pastor Genty because we've been really, if you will, kind of checking him out we've known you for what, 3-4 years?
I think it was 2018.
2018. And we were kind of excited about the possibility back then. It's taken a while for it to manifest itself, and here it is. It's here. So we're going to talk about the relaunch of biblical entrepreneurship in Haiti. Now, for those who are not aware, so several years ago we launched biblical entrepreneurship in the nation of Haiti. Gina, my wife, is Haiti. As a matter of fact, I think Deborah, you were part of that launch trip, if I can remember.
Well, actually, Patrice, it happened. I just looked it up, 2014.
2014.
Yeah, I wasn't part of the launch trip, but I was part of it next year, the very first trip where we did the training in 2015.
That's right. So 2014, and now today we are 2021. I mean, that's 7 years.
I know.
And here we are. Pastor, as you know, 7, the number of completion, right? So I believe that the Lord, this is it. So we talked with Wendy Clem. Wendy, of course, you guys know, is the regional director of North America, with Haiti falling within her region. And so she's here to kind of talk about this launch. So Wendy, I'm going to get to Deborah and talk about the history a little bit, but you must be pretty excited.
Actually, Patrice, I'm even more than excited, if you will, because having someone like Pastor Genty, who has stepped up to really serve, the community and bring this program back to life in a way that we're going to have a bigger impact. So I am super excited. I love working with Pastor Genty and his vision for the community, and let me tell you, we're gonna get things done.
Awesome, Wendy. So that people can get a sense. So within North America, the region you lead, what countries are within it?
So I oversee all of the U.S., Canada, and Haiti.
Okay. Talk to us a bit about what's happening right now within the region and kind of what's coming up in this year.
So in North America, we have programs that are launching in 3 different languages. So we have a center that'll be opening up in Seattle that'll focus on serving the French community. We have one in Orlando that is going to be focusing and serving our Spanish community within the U.S. And we have a trainer and coach in Canada that is working to building programs there as well. And now we will be launching in Haiti and have our First Community Center there. So our programs are really focusing on, building community in my region through our life groups and Connect. I really believe that for the real change to happen, we have to link arms as a community. And it wasn't an accident that we have the e-community, right? The entrepreneurship community. So really just to continue to do that and link arms as Christian entrepreneurs to bring God back into the marketplace and do business.
Awesome. Pastor Genty, so you're new to the full system, but you're not new to Nehemiah Project. You first connected with Nehemiah you hosted, I believe, a BE program in Haiti several years ago. Am I right?
Yes, we were invited, and when I say we, the Barnabas Christian Leadership Center that I've been leading for the last 15 years, we have an experience in organizing events, even large events. And so we were approached by a mutual friend, and we were asked to organize this so that a new group of people could finish in time and do the international competition. And so we were able to do the BE1, and we did BE2, and we did BE3, and we hosted the national competition and just in time for one of our representatives to go to the international competition. So it was intense. We had to be doing everything so that we don't miss a beat, and the Lord was with us, and so we were able to complete this.
Awesome. And I remember getting the feedback, and what I liked from what I've heard was you had a sense of discipline, follow through. There was just something distinct and unique about you and your leadership. And I think the person that ended up being selected by you guys, I think ended up winning. I'm not sure. Deborah, did they end up, how far did they go?
Wow. Well, Patrice, I'm glad you asked, because I wanted to look this up. Haiti took the International Business Plan competition in 2017 with Rosella St. V. And you might remember that small woman that packed a lot of power in her presentation, and she just knocked the socks off of everybody. And then in 2018, I hope I say this name correctly, Gerdine Duray.
Duray, yes.
Duray, thank you. Came and competed, represented Nehemiah, or represented Haiti at the international competition. And in 2019, Pastor Tilsoma came and presented. And, again, these three powerful people really showed the impact of the program in Haiti. All of our observers and audience members were just overwhelmed. Pastor Tilsoma went home, I believe it was with second place at that competition. So the training there has been excellent, and follow through by all the trainers. And that really started with Pastor Tammy and Monique Guillaume. Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the history. So what's interesting, when Haiti first won, almost everybody, a lot of people cried at the it was very emotional because of the backdrop of the struggle that Haiti had come through. So all of us remember the hurricane, the earthquake in Haiti, right? We launched sometimes after the earthquake, right? So Deborah, you were part of that process with Tammy. So talk a bit about kind of what you remember back then as the program in Haiti was being launched post-earthquake, Tammy's involvement, and so on, and kind of what happened as this thing was being initiated back then.
Well, Pastor Tammy Furman had attended one of our events, and she'd had a heart for business in Haiti, but she led a number of missions through her church. And she's when she came, she connected with us and said that there was, opportunity in Haiti for us to hold programs, and she could see the benefit for the people there to go be a part of it. And so in 2014, there was a group, several people from the Nehemiah team that went along with you, as well as Pastor Tammy, Nancy Russell, a few other people that went along on this trip to really determine was this a viable program. And if I recall correctly, I think that's where you met Pastor Ebed, either prior to going or on that trip, and determined that this was a leader that could rally churches, rally the local community and people together. And during that time, as we planned for the next step, which happened in March of 2015, which happened to be my very first international trip for Nehemiah Project, and went with the team there. We had classes both in all the way from Port-au-Prince through Pion all the way up to Cap-Haïtien. And it was exciting to see the people really respond to these classes and the opportunity. They were hungry to learn how they could run kingdom businesses. And that year we had a couple of trips that went through that. And then we went through a time where Pastor Ebed had to release his leadership on the program, and we went for a little bit of time without a definite leader. But Pastor Tammy came back around. She has such a heart for Haiti and the Haitian people, along with Monique Guillaume, which was one of our students. And they began to lead classes and ensure that we had the program was still viable. And those two ladies worked really hard to ensure that students were served, that they were getting the coaching, mentoring that they needed. But it's difficult long distance to do that. And when then when they found Pastor Shanti here, hold the classes, as you said, we thought that would certainly be the place for us to kind of anchor our programs with. So it's exciting to see. We had a little bit of a drop now because of COVID in 2020, but with Wendy's leadership, we're roaring back, coming alongside. Pastor Shanti's been to all of our classes and getting prepared. I cannot wait to see what he's going to be able to bring and how we're going to be able to serve the people of that great nation.
Wow, it's incredible. So, Pastor Genty, you're coming to a situation where there's been such a yearning for leadership in a program that has demonstrated such potential in your country, but at the same time has really had a hard time kind of making that full lift, though you've had a lot of potential entrepreneurs. So, but what makes you believe, Pastor Genty, that you can make it go at this? I mean, that's very courageous. You're a busy man already. So what drew you to this in terms of being willing to take a shot at this?
Well, I'm grateful for this opportunity to be part of this biblical entrepreneurship. First, I would say that there is this drive, this passion for the church community to be part of a solution to a very deep problem. Now, whenever they talk about Haiti, they don't mention how we have beautiful mountains, the ocean is beautiful. I was at the beach this weekend and all that. So people don't mention that. They look at the poverty and the trash and all that. So, and this is part of our reality, and we cannot escape from it. But it is something that as children of God, we need to bring our own testimony and witness to that. And so one of my drive is that how could the church be part of the solution to create thousands of jobs and to create wealth in this community, in this country. And I believe that we have some assets as Christians. There is the element of trust that is sorely missing in the non-Christian community. There is the idea of leadership that we have grown used to in the church, where people grow to be responsible and all that. So if we can bring all of those things together with knowledge on how to do business correctly, I believe that we can do something beautiful in this country. And then also I come with experience with about 15 years of doing major events and training. So we were part of another ministry that we're still going to be offering training in. That is leadership through the John Maxwell Equip group. And we've trained hundreds of people that have trained all the others. So last I counted, we had over 10,000 people who have trained around the country and still counting. And then we're also happy that we have a team that is been doing work with us, and they are happy to work with us. We have a team of volunteers that have been with us for many years. And so all of this contribute to making this initiative a little better. At the same time, we come with technology of using Zoom that we will reach more people than in person, the way we're doing it before. So all of this, I think, could make it a better opportunity. So we are looking to the Lord and also inviting people to consider getting involved in training for entrepreneurship, and encourage others and even sponsor others to be trained in entrepreneurship, so that in churches primarily, and as they go out of the churches as business people, they will be creating jobs and creating wealth, so that we change the trajectory and the narrative about Haiti.
Amen. Amen. Pastor Genty, so far in your experience, what is it about biblical entrepreneurship and Nehemiah Project that you have found to be kind of a resource that can be helpful for Haiti and for Haitians?
Well, one other thing is that it is available in French, so this is a good thing. And then maybe it has something to do with Patrice, or maybe his wife being from Haiti. But so that's a leg up that we have with this training, and then it's very comprehensive. I mean, it goes through all of this, and it ties and try to integrate biblical principles that are dear to us, to Christians. And also, when you're looking at like 50%, 80% of the population who are connected and inspired by the Bible, and if they can see how this works. For example, I've used one lesson in my course at the seminary, the theology of business, and most of my students says, "Well, when can we register? We want to get more of this." So there is this interest in the material, and then also as we're talking about business. I've been told, and we need to see this. I know that the people who went through the Nehemiah, they got funding, but we want to see people access capital so that they can go on with their entrepreneurship projects.
Awesome. My wife Gina, was born in Haiti, said the Haiti program relaunch is an incredible answer to prayer. As our training expanded internationally, I recall praying for the Lord to raise up a partner through which we can bring the program to my native land, Haiti. The Lord has brought us such a leader as Pastor Genty. He is God. He's a God who answers prayers. Praise Him. I do remember when the earthquake happened, we were highly discouraged, but we began to pray, and we knew that Nehemiah Project is not a recovery organization. We're not a rescue organization. We're not even a disaster relief organization. We are a business development organization, and so we had to wait our time, and the time came, and so here it is. Wendy, what is it about Pastor Genty that have made you have the confidence that he's the leader for this kind of work?
Well, I'm going to have to second Gina on that as an answer to the prayer. When I stepped into the role as the regional director, my prayer was to have someone on the ground in Haiti who had the vision and could do the work, right? And had the drive to do that. And the one thing that no matter what I've asked Pastor Genty in all of the conversations, he's like, we'll make it happen. Let's get that done. I was like, okay, I need you to take trainer certification. And then a week later, I want you to take coach certification, all at the same time as learning all of our processes and opening a center and all that you're doing. And he has just continually stepped into that leadership role. And that is an answer to a prayer, someone who is not afraid to step into that, because I think that that's one of the things that we need in our center directors, because we are forging new ground. We are taking new ground, are taking the ground back for the Lord. So I really feel that that's great. He also, being a leader in his church, I think that's going to be a big benefit in his community, and he's respected in his community. But ultimately, I think we have the same vision, right? We want to see Haiti and its people impacted, and to be free of the bondage that they are put in and be able to flourish. And I think that I know that Deborah feels the same way. We've had many conversations about that. She's listened to me cry and pray about bringing someone in who can fulfill this role. I think too, Patrice, having someone full-time in Haiti. Tammy was amazing. But a lot of the challenge that we have because of the threat level, I can't send a lot of people into Haiti from the US because of that. So I knew that I needed strong people within the community to do that. And I believe that God did answer that prayer. And we are going to be seeing change. And I believe it's going to see change for Haiti. It was interesting. I was speaking to a doctor today. I had no idea she was from Haiti. Her husband was from Haiti. I explained, I said, I really need to get through this doctor's appointment. I have a podcast to get to. And she asked what it was. And as soon as I told her what we were doing, she got tears in her eyes and was just so moved to know that we are doing this, and that we have someone the caliber of Pastor Jeanty doing that. You know, that's also the part here in the U.S. because I spoke at the Haitian Chamber of Commerce last week, and there's a large Haitian community here in Florida, and to be able to again bridge that gap and be able to serve. Because I believe Pastor Jeanty's programs are not just going to stay in Haiti. He is going to be able to serve Haitian communities, even within the U.S. And that's the impact that the Lord is going to have on this area.
Amen. That you and I early, we saw something that was unique about Pastor Jeanty. We felt early that this could be the guy. Obviously, we didn't want to push it because we also recognized that at that moment we needed Tammy and Monique to kind of, they had to be the one. What was it about Pastor Jeanty on your side that you felt, and even as you now got to know him better, that he's the right guy?
Well, you know, we have people that want to join us and that are excited about our programs and what they can bring. And oftentimes they come with a mission mindset. And really, in order for this program to work, our e-community centers to work, we need to have that heart of a pastor, the heart of a shepherd, but they have to have the mindset as well of a business leader that can lead people, lead through good business practices, that demonstrates our programs work, that they are using, that they become profitable and sustainable. And I saw that as I researched Pastor Jeanty early on in his website, you know, the Barnabas Center being in operation for many years, his associations that he's had with Maxwell and others, that he has that business sense, that leadership sense that others will want to follow. And I think that is really important. We need examples of people in the marketplace that are following the principles that we lay out in our programs. They're following, and that they're inspiring those who behind them to do the same thing. That is what I saw as I got to know Pastor Jeanty. I felt that this was a man of integrity that others could look up to as an example. And oftentimes we know in emerging marketplaces that having that person who they can emulate and follow is so important to have.
Wow. Pastor Jeanty, that's incredible. You know, I asked you once, I said, you know, quality leaders like yourself have options, right? They can go to the U.S., come to the U.S., they don't have to stay in Haiti. But your wife and you have chosen to stay in Haiti. Why?
Well, thank you for all those words of affirmation, Wendy and Deborah. I'm humbled. was good anyway. But for us to stay in Haiti is, I would say, it's our love for the country and that the Lord has put in us, and in me and in my wife Dominique, and she's been supporting me. Actually, we started the Barnabas Center together. She's very good in organizing. Actually, yesterday we had another kind of meeting, reporting on the activities for the anniversary of our church. And I mean, she is very organized and very keen into the finance part of things. I am, so it's because of her loyalty to me, and I guess my love for the country that I got from my father and my mother, and that we are here. Of course, I like to travel, and I like to go other places, but we are here, and also I consider myself to be a soldier of the Lord, and when we are soldiers, we follow orders, and so if he says, I mean, you jump, then we'll just say, oh, how high? But until then, we are here and we are serving. As I said, we've been 30 years in the STEP Seminary. This is our 11th year at our church here, and now 15 years at Barnabas. So we find that we have a ministry to do, we have an impact to do, we have people to disciple, and we are taking this opportunity. And also, and I should add, that the Lord has blessed us to be able to continue, because some people are not able to stay any longer, either because their businesses have shut down, and or they've been through difficult times. We are hearing stories of people being kidnapped. We are hearing stories of people losing their businesses. So we've been spared from this, and we've been able to continue in ministry here. So we are thankful for that. And this is part of the blessing to be able to continue. So this East Center is kind of the next season in our work here. And we are hoping that this will open doors for people to be able to be trained, but also for our staff at the Barnabas Center to be able to continue being employed and being able to serve others. So we have a good team here, and so we're looking forward to see how we're going to prosper in this next season.
Wow, that is incredible. Let me have you hear a bit about Pastor Jeanty and his pedigree and the profile of. By the way, Pastor, I look forward to meeting your wife, and just I love how you described her. She's not only beautiful, but Mrs. Dominique is also very smart and bright. In that, so she's she has the money brain in the family. That is in administration. That's an interesting combination. So I want you to hear this, guys, because it's all about leadership. And so Pastor Jeanty, a graduate of Dallas Theological Seminary. The last I checked, they produce quality people. Several organizations that he's helped to lead, start, and be a part of. Of course, the Christian Education and Theology STEP Seminary for over 25 years. You also served as a missionary in Africa.
Yes.
That's incredible. What country in Africa?
We were in DRC in the Northeast.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Yeah, and we could give a shout out for them, and they are in the middle of some turmoil again. I was hearing that the colonel was shot in that area of Nyankunde. So,
wow. So, I mean, the mission. He's senior pastor of what's the church called, Pastor Jeanty?
It's called Église Baptiste Béret at Delma 43 in Port-au-Prince, Haiti.
Wow. And of course, the Barnabas Christian Leadership Center, which you founded. That is something you and your wife founded both. Incredible. You also work with Compassion as well. right? Served with them for a while.
Well, I did, yes. On a return from Africa, I was invited to be the counselor or advisor for their new leadership development program for young people who are completing the sponsorship program and going into the university. So I served a couple years with them, and actually one of my colleagues right now is one of those former students whom I mentored in that group. So it was a good experience. And then now I'm not with Compassion, but my wife is. So she's completed the 20 years with Compassion now.
Wow. Something about a man who has this kind of vast of experience and training, and now the E-Community Center, now Biblical Counsel. So you've kind of done leadership, you've done mission, you've done theology, you've done church, discipleship, now entrepreneurship. So tell us a bit about the difference between this new assignment, Pastor Jeanty, and what you've done historically. What's the difference, and what's going to be your greatest challenges and opportunity?
Well, one of the big difference is non-profit and for-profit. Entrepreneurs are in it for the profit, which is a good thing that we need to make peace with. That it is all right for people to be making money as a profit. So this is the change of difference between those two areas, like what I've done so far and what I'm doing with Nehemiah. But also it's very common. I mean, leadership is part of what we are doing, and there's a strong part of leadership to make a business successful, and so I think this is going to be a good combination for that. Another thing is, well, I've been in church work basically all my life. And this I like to tie it with church also. This is a way for us to be to bring that witness in the marketplace, and to make peace with what the Lord has given us, and stewardship that we have over the resources. And that if we do it right, we can take care of our own families, and then have a margin to be able to help others who are in a difficult situation right now. And eventually that we will have a lot of people getting out of poverty because of entrepreneurs who are creating jobs all over the country.
Wow, I love it. So with that, let's kind of talk about the need. So Pastor Jeanty, as people are watching and listening, let's talk about what's the pain, what's the hurt that needs to be healed as this goes on. What problem is this kind of going to resolve? If describe it about the state of Haiti, particularly with COVID-19, and I want to hear from you as well, Wendy, in terms of what hurt are you guys trying to heal here? As our viewers are watching and listening, so some of them in their mind they're thinking, but when Haiti settled after the earthquake with all that money that got pumped into Haiti, so what's the hurt that needs to be healed in Haiti? Why you think this E-Community Center, Biblical Entrepreneurship, can come alongside and be a resource there?
Okay, well, one thing that we need to clarify is that there were not that much money that was pumped into Haiti after the earthquake. That's one thing. And with a lot of humanitarian aids, almost 10 on every $10 or $9 go back to the donors. So there's not much to be seen about.
Let's talk about that a little bit. Before we get to that, you bring a good point. So I was going to go to that next, but let's deal with what are some of the misnomers? Because there is a perception that, at least from those of us in America, that a lot of money get pumped into Haiti, but change does not happen. Could you help us understand what don't we understand, and what is the problem?
Well, aid is good when people are hurting. Like if there's a hurricane and people are, they don't have the house is gone, there is shortage of water, it's a good thing for people to come and bring water, to bring tin roof for them to survive. But this is not going to happen. Let me show you one way that the earthquake kind of hit me a little bit personally. Thank God my house wasn't destroyed. We did not really lose people. Well, I have one cousin who died that I know, but I was spared. But there was one hospital that I had opportunity to go there once or twice for an exam, and it was a beautiful new building, a new project, and I was joked that people would want to get sick in order to get to that hospital. Earthquake happened, the hospital was not destroyed, but because of all the help, all the trauma, they would even remove doors from rooms in order to make beds for people. And then we had all the other humanitarian groups, medical groups that would come and serve the people for free, which is a good thing. People needed help, but they stayed long, and then Haitian doctors could no longer charge people to come for their services, and so doctors were out of work. And then this hospital that was kind of one of the new flagship for the Haitian medical community, it would not qualify for help, and they would help other groups that are nonprofit, but because this was a for-profit hospital, it was not qualified for help, and then to this day, it's still not rebuilt and not operational again. And so our community has lost something because of the goodwill to help. And so there's a principle in medical work and also in development work that do no harm. And even when you're helping, you have to try to do no harm. And so this is one of the issues. When out of the goodness of your heart, you want to bring anything from other overseas. For example, even on our own production level, we have rice that is coming from the United States, Arkansas, or from Vietnam, or from that are being donated. But what that means that the rice farmers in Haiti are not competitive because this is dumping, and then they cannot compete with that price. So there is a lot of wisdom that is needed to how to balance relief with national production, creating wealth in the country, and let everybody going and working. And so this is our challenge. We need to get to a place where people have jobs.
Wow.
That are sustainable, and that they are able to create wealth. Of course, you need an environment for that, and especially if you have a good justice system that will protect property rights and protect the contracts that people sign. But and I think that's one of the themes of Nehemiah, that even in difficult circumstances, if you apply the biblical principles, you should be able to continue to exist. So that's what we're hoping, that we can teach people that they can learn and thrive, whatever the situation. Now, if the environment, economic environment is good, great. But if we have inflation, you have to prepare for that. You have to have your cash and all that, so that we may be able to serve as that witness in creating jobs and creating wealth.
I don't know about you guys, but he said a lot there, and I hope that our audience really understood. And I thought about things like when helping hurts, right? He mentioned do no harm. In a sense, sometimes the goodwill of people actually destroy local economic incentives, so that when we're done helping, we've destroyed the country. That's kind of what you're saying. And so we have to apply biblical sound wisdom and common sense sometimes. I mean, some of this is just common sense. And the true principle of free enterprise as we try to help. But then you also mentioned something, Pastor. You mentioned that out of $10 that goes in, $8 never makes it. Could you clarify that? Because I'm not sure if our audience understood what you mean. So what does that mean? Because our perception is that everything goes in.
Well, I mean, you know the story about the American Red Cross. They spent, I don't know, $6 million in Haiti or something like that. They built one house.
Wow. Wow.
Well, it's probably, I mean, if they explain it, they probably say they did more, they did research and all that. But in the end, in terms of reconstruction, they did not do much.
Wow.
But it's just the logic of the humanitarian and business enterprise. I mean, if usually the country that is providing the funds, they would require that you buy items from that country. If it's an American foundation that gives money, probably the vehicles that you have to buy would be American made, and so the money goes. I mean, you buy the vehicles, so the vehicle is in Haiti, maybe, but the money goes back to the donor country. So a lot of it is like that, and also there is this tendency that foreigners know better, and so we export. Or import people to come and work in the country, but that's part of the donor relationship, because the donor wants to have somebody that they know on ground that can report to them and all that. So this is part of it, but at the same time, this is the logic of how it is happening. There is a sense where this is normal, but there is also a sense where there is too much of it. And so some groups are doing a good job. I'm on the board of World Vision, and they try to do a good job in the stewardship. Compassion Haiti is another group that is trying to do a very good job with the sponsorship money that they get. But I've heard stories of other NGOs who have wasted their income.
Now, do you groups like, let's say, World Vision Compassion, do you feel like these groups, there's groups like that actually listen to local Haitian like yourself, who advise them to bring this kind of sound wisdom to the table on how to do no harm? Yes,
the good groups, they are concerned about this and how to better do this work. So yes, but that's one thing to want to do it better, and that's another thing to have all the tools and the resources and the assets to be doing it. But one way of doing it is to promoting businesses, local businesses, to buy local, to buy from entrepreneurs. But also, when they want to buy from the locals, also they need to find the locals to buy from. And so you need the entrepreneurs who've been through training and they know how to market their products. They know how to maintain their books so that they can be the kind of providers and vendors that the big companies can do business with.
Wow.
So it's a catch-22 in a sense, but I think with Nehemiah coming in, if we can be that arm that will equip entrepreneurs to get better on their development. I like the skills that you have in Nehemiah, like you start from startup and you go through sustainability and then even to profitability and to succession. So this is a good model to have people go through so that they are improving themselves. And then when the leader improves themselves, gets better, everybody wins. I
love it. You know, Deborah and Wendy, as I'm hearing this, I mean, you got to take it on. This is a reformer's job. I mean, this is more than just training entrepreneurs, because after Pastor Jen is training entrepreneur, he has to challenge the status quo. He has to bring a whole new worldview. So in a sense, Nehemiah is being challenged to do no harm and to apply new process and how these things are done. So let me start with you, Deborah. As you hear all that, as director of training and coaching, as one who is championing what's happening in Haiti, so what are you thinking? What is your sense as to what has to be done differently here in terms of Nehemiah's approach to make sure that we do no harm?
Well, Patrice, this is a topic that I looked at before. I think my education in this area started with Haiti. My first trip there and learning about the harm that good people can do. They don't start out to do that. They don't realize what they're doing. I think back to this video that we watched early on called Poverty Inc. that really highlighted the issues not only in in Haiti, but also in Africa as well, and the big business that this turned into. But it's also about the children in Sunday schools, right, across America that want to do something. Their hearts are full. They want to be able to help other children. And so we've got to learn, I think, from our standpoint, is how do we learn to ask the right questions so that we provide the right support and aid. At one point, there was a devastating hurricane in Haiti. And I remember Monique asked Monique, what can we do to help? And she said, help us to buy local so that we can bring in aid, buy from locals and take it to locals. Let us be a solution. And so rather than, as Pastor Gentil said, the parents that we have to, hop in and help people, how do we help them to help each other? They know the problem. They are the best ones in many cases to know what that solution might be. How do we give the right kind of support and help that allows them to go and discover and create the solutions that are needed there? How do we learn from the Haitians about what to do, or from those in Africa or any other country that we have a heart for? So I think I think part of this mindset is a challenge for us is changing our mindset in how we do it, how we perform aid, and how do we create leaders on the ground that can lead it while they're there, so that we are getting the best use of our money. What is the strategy? What are the tactics that we need to do? And part of that, I believe, is advanced preparation, advanced planning. What happens if we have another hurricane? If there's another devastating earthquake? What do we do as an organization to come alongside and help? There's a difference between immediate disaster aid and long-term support. And I believe biblical entrepreneurship has a big part to play in that, because now we look at our roles and responsibilities and how can we support it. We have a number of people, many generous donors who have a heart for Haiti and want to help us to grow entrepreneurship there. And so I think we've got to be very strategic in our planning, and that we have to be very deliberate as we think about infusing entrepreneurs with cash to grow. How do we come alongside and coach and mentor them? And do we have the right people who have insight into their economy, into their culture, that can help us to do it in a way that's sustainable? It's a big challenge, but I don't think that it's impossible. And I think we can lead the way that other organizations can look at.
I love it. Wendy, a great big challenge. Why do you think that your solution could work in this instant?
Well, I think, just as what Pastor and Deborah has said, it is empowering the Haitian people. And and raising up those leaders amongst them. You know, I do not believe in giving a handout. I believe in giving a hand up. And I think that that's this entire story. We'll give a hand up. And I remember that time, and I remember when Tammy was going back, and I remember her saying, just give me money so that they can buy local. We don't need clothes. We don't need water. What we need is to empower them to buy local so we don't bankrupt and shut down the local grocery store because they can't sell their stuff because they're getting it free. And so again, not giving it, but teaching so that we then teach the next generation and the next generation, because it's not going to happen overnight and it's not going to happen with one generation. But Pastor Shanti right now is already looking at training about 300 young people, young biblical entrepreneurs. So he's already looking at the next generation, because that's where we have to continue to move. We can't just change one person's mind. We do have to change how we do things. And Nehemiah Project, and this is one of the things I've loved about Nehemiah Project when I came on board, is that we don't give the handout. You know, we do give scholarship, but never 100% scholarship because of the do no harm. There's a value to what's happening for them to have worked for it as well. So I do think that being able to change that mindset, I do think that being able to help entrepreneurs there on the ground, that's going to be the difference. Because if we raise up those leaders, they're going to know what they need locally, and they'll speak out and say that this is what we need locally. And they might begin to impact, as he said, the court systems. And as we raise them up and show them how to do business God's way, I believe that those are the things that are going to happen. But here's the other part of it. You know, God is in control of this. And he has called Nehemiah to Haiti repeatedly. He's called us there again and again. And I believe it so that we can see each of these steps to know what it is we need to move forward with. We need a leader. We need a center. We need to begin living by example. And I think that that's what we're going to be doing. But again, it's in God's timing. And I believe he's been preparing Nehemiah to come in at this time as well.
Wow, that's incredible. So Pastor Shanti, tell us what's coming up. So by December 31st of this year, what do you have planned? What can we expect? Talk to us a bit about your game plan for the next several months.
Well, we are working on creating a shared office where people can come and have access to electricity, internet, security, a peaceful place to come and work. And so we have at least 2 people already signing up for that space. And so we are hoping that we can do that. We have interior designer who is looking at the space to make it something that is international standard for us. So when Patrice and Deborah comes, and Wendy also, you're welcome. Hopefully in 2 months, in July, on June 23rd, when we're doing our hard launch, that this is going to be a very beautiful place. We are challenged for parking, but something is coming up. So I hope that we can work something through for us, for the center. And then we will have training. One of the, I guess, stronghold is to have certified trainers. And the Nehemiah has agreed that we will be having a course for for trainers in Haiti, from Haiti. So we have a list of at least 6 people who are interested in taking the course. And so we will have trainers to be able to offer the course in Haiti. And then we want to register. We'll be offering free seminars. Actually, tomorrow I will be speaking. This weekend, tomorrow and Saturday. Tomorrow I'll be interviewing one of the top entrepreneurs in this country, and about his story to success. And the next day, I will be speaking to a group of people who have come to this seminar on entrepreneurship. So it's a great opportunity, and the date is good. So Mila is the name of the group, and was led by by Frednel, who is a member of our church, and he is one of the people that we are inviting to be trainers. So he's been doing that already. So through his networks, hopefully the Nehemiah will also expand. We want we're looking at launching a new class almost every other month. Maybe we're too ambitious. I'll listen to Wendy and do once a quarter, but would like to be launching classes every other month, so that for one thing we will be sustainable ourselves and be able to continue to provide the service in this country. Then we want also to reach as many people as we can. Of course, one of the issues is that the certified course, the Biblical Entrepreneurship Certificate course, it takes a while to complete it. So we may need to be doing something that are shorter for people who are anxious to start. And also what we need probably be looking at also is how do we get maybe some seed money for people who have completed the seminar with us and who've been in business already. For example, I'm looking at one of our young people. He's an entrepreneur at heart. He finished high school. He wanted to go into law school, but then it was difficult for him. So he got into business. He started kind of a multi-purpose thing, making copies, selling electronics and all that. Then there was trouble in his area of town. Actually, the way I got in contact with him is because he got shot in the leg. Our church helped with him, and then later on he restarted his business. And then 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, gang fighting, and they burned down the area, and his business was burned down also. And so those are the people who have entrepreneurship in their blood that we need to get trained, get a kind of a head start, and maybe get some angel money so that they can get on their feet, and then they're going to go back to that full training to be the kind of trained entrepreneurs that we want to see happen. So this is what we are working on as far as where we want to be by December 31 of this year. And eventually it's about training entrepreneurs who are either starting or expanding their business, and we have a sustainable number, and then to be creating jobs. We'd like to see jobs created, especially within the church community.
Wow, that is incredible. So I'm hearing you want to certify some trainers, so you have some help, some other folks to work with you. You're going to open the e-community center there in June, and I'm hearing that e-community center would kind of be like the one in Orlando, would have a co-working space and facility. That is incredible, and I like the idea of it being international standard. I love that, and then of course beginning to train entrepreneurs. It looks like you also would like to have some capital to be able to provide financing and so forth. This is exciting. Wow. So Deborah, as you hear all this, what goes to your mind? It looks like it's we've gone full circle and we're here, and this looks very promising. What do you think?
Oh, Patrice, we've all said it, I think, today about being in our prayers, and Haiti has a special place for me, and the people there. We've done a lot of work. I think we've made, we've learned some lessons. Some of them were harder than others, but we've learned them. And I believe that we're poised now with infrastructure and with processes, support that can really make a big difference. And I know it doesn't sound like it, but I don't want to get too emotional. I think that it's exciting to see what happens. And I'm praising God every day for this, as when he said we keep being called back for this next opportunity that we have to do things better and help the Haitians to build kingdom businesses that provide a hope and a plan for their future. And I believe God has his hand on them. And that's why we keep coming back and we don't give up, because like you say, Patrice, don't ever, never, ever, ever, never, ever give up.
Amen.
And we're not giving up in Haiti.
Amen.
We might get slowed down a bit, but we're not giving up. We're going to keep moving ahead.
I love
Thank you,
it.
Pastor Shanti.
Yes. Wendy, as regional director, what does success look like for you as you look at all this? And how can those watching and listening help you?
Well, Patrice, I think for me, success is making sure that Pastor Gentil has the resources to do what he is setting out to do. Making sure that he has the trainers that he needs, the coaches that he needs. We've already reached out to Deborah and asked her to do a special trainer certification so we can make sure we don't have to wait. We can get it moving. My next call will be for a coach certification, and so that we can again get some coaches that can continue to work with the entrepreneurs. And also to be able to build that the scholarship and the capital fund so that we can do those microloans, so that we can give those opportunities and not pay for everything, but give those opportunities. And so those who are watching this, that's where you can help us make sure that when those students are going through that training, we are able to give them that seed money. We are able to provide coaches, qualified, certified coaches that can continue to mentor and nurture and guide them. And that takes some resources, but I believe that's where we can come together to help Pastor Gentil so that he does have the ability to do that. And what I love is that he immediately starts to say, okay, how can I provide jobs, build jobs in my church and in my community from the center? He's walking his talk. He's starting by how do I build jobs right here, so that he's that example. So I want to make sure that he has the resources that he needs, that he has the support, whether it's financial or whether it is support from headquarters, from our team, bringing in other trainers and coaches who can continue to serve even online and step in. So that's how you can help is go to our website, go to the donate. We have a page that you can specifically donate towards Haiti and help us build that fund so that when that first class starts, we have resources that we can empower them to create jobs. We've got 100,000 jobs to create, Patrice, in 10 years. We might see Pastor Gentil creating all 10,000. 100,000. I don't know. He can probably do it, I think.
That is incredible. Pastor Gentil, for those who are watching and listening, how can they help?
Well, one is to pray for this, and encourage, like, word of mouth. Tell people that they know in Haiti that there is this opportunity for training if they want to provide scholarship, like Wendy was saying, so that deserving people can come and take this opportunity to learn. And also, we will need coaches, especially people who can speak Creole or French, that can come alongside people and learn about what they're doing. And also, eventually, investors who want to try something in Haiti, and they'll come and they find somebody that understand the business and that can work with them. And there's that level of community already established. That we know what you're talking about, and we don't have the fresh money, but we have the sweat equity, and we have the drive to be able to succeed in life. So in the end, what we'd like to see is people who have been successful in business in their own communities. Let's try to replicate this in Haiti. Start new businesses, start branches expand their own businesses here, find a partner through Nehemiah, and let's do something. One of the thing also for churches, I'd like to see churches establish business communities in the churches so that they can be inspired and learn what it is to be a Christian business person. And as those groups are going and growing in an organic way, then this is a new culture, and there's nothing you can do about it, because this is going to be our new culture.
I love it. Well, Pastor Gentil, I look forward to being with you guys in June in Haiti for the launch. By the way, are you going to have a training room in the e-community center when you launch?
Yes, actually, we will be depending on how much funding we get as we're starting. We have different phases of the project, but we've already identified a place that is going to be a state-of-the-art training center. Because what we will be offering is that, and I haven't said that before, but we have a group of Haitians in Latin America, in Chile especially, even in Argentina, who are ready to start a course with us.
Wow.
Because we want to offer leadership courses also through our own Barnabas Center, and biblical training courses. And then you have the entrepreneurship course also. That
is incredible. So I can see kind of where you can come. You can either go through leadership with the Barnabas Center or entrepreneurship e-community, and they're kind of working together. And I say that because, we have these smart screens that we want to make sure we put in the right centers. I'm thinking, should we be holding one hope for the Haiti Center?
Yes. That's a yes, Patrice.
That is a yes.
That is incredible. Well, you have a fan. Here's what Danielle Saint-Lot says. Congratulations, Pastor Gentil and friends of Haiti. It is a great initiative. It is important to develop and reinforce entrepreneur and managerial capacities of our youth guided by biblical values. Do you know Miss Danielle Saint-Lot by any chance?
Yes, Mrs. Saint-Lot, thank you very much for this word of affirmation. She's been very involved in business. She was in the government in the Ministry of Commerce, so she knows what she's talking about. She's been helping women especially, and now she has a new vision for helping young people in entrepreneurship. So that's thank you very much for coming and taking part of this.
That is incredible. Well, before we leave, thank you so much, guys, for watching and listening. Don't you leave yet, because I'm going to have Pastor Gentil give us a word of encouragement. Whenever we close our podcast, before I pray, we always have our guest share a word of encouragement. Before he does, however, I do want to do a little commercial. If you want to know more about Pastor Gentil, let's see. He has his website. Let me give you the website for the Barnabas Christian Leadership Center. It's barnabas.sclc.org. barnabas.sclc.org. There you can learn about him and his wife and what they're doing there. Of course, you want to know about the Nehemiah Project, E-Community Center. You can go to Nehemiah Project, NehemiahECommunityCenter.org.com. NehemiahEcommunityCenter.com. So those are the websites for you. And of course, you can connect with Pastor Genty and make sure you plug in to either his church with the Barnabas Center, or of course, be part of this launch of the eCommunity Center in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. Now, if you're an entrepreneur and you're watching and you're saying, wow, how can I plug in? Well, I'm glad you asked. If you want us to help you grow your business, if you want to partner with us like Pastor Genty and launch the program in another country, another community, you say, I want to be part of this thing. I want to help create these jobs, either through my business or as a trainer or coach. Visit us on our website, NehemiahEcommunity.com, NehemiahEcommunity.com. Then you learn about training program, biblical entrepreneurship, server love, identity destiny, and so forth. Our coaching program, whether it's diamond coaching, whether it's business success or group coaching, whether it's elite coaching, or we can come alongside you and help you grow your business, or access to capital, connect you with an investor, or us doing direct investing to your business. Or you can learn how to become a member of the Nehemiah entrepreneurship community. Guess what? Membership does have its privileges. You can connect with entrepreneurs from not only from Haiti, but from North America, US, Canada, from Asia, from Latin America, from Europe, or from Africa, because we are working together to transform the world. And we want you to be a part. Ms. Danielson Lott, we look forward to seeing how God will use your efforts in Haiti as well, and of course, with Pastor Genty. Pastor Genty, here's the reality. 2020 was a tough year for many entrepreneurs and folks around the world, many leaders. Not all survived. 2021, we're seeing some adjustment, but people are still going through. As you talk to leaders and entrepreneurs out there, and they're wondering whether or not this year will be, whether they'll make it this year, what would you to encourage them to press on?
One of the secret of the Christian life is that the Lord doesn't promise that we'll have everything is going to be rosy. The Lord doesn't promise that we will not have trials, but He does promise that He will be with us until the end. And so that's one encouragement, that every morning that you get up to do your work, I mean, the Lord is going to be with us. Now, another way that we see this also is the way that even though we are not seeing it directly and we have all our issues, we have to remember that the Lord has created this wonderful world that works best when we are in alignment with His will. The God that we serve is a personal God, and He establishes that things should work in relationships. And when we get to know people, when we get to be in proper relationship with ourselves and with the Lord, things work better. In fact, this is one thing that we learn in Nehemiah, that relationships is the basis for all the good things that can happen. We are looking for growth. And also, this is part of the DNA that God has put into the world, that things should grow, that fruit trees should be fruitful. And then if we apply the knowledge that is there, that He has put in the world, that Nehemiah is bringing to us to the training, then we can grow. But another part that I insist on it with some of my colleagues also, is that the God that we serve is not only a God of love, but also He's a God of justice that has put values and principles in the world. And as we align with them, then we prosper. I remember asking one of the successful business people in Haiti about how can you be a successful business person? And he says, applying the golden rule that God has put in the Bible. And that was his simple answer to a complex question. Of course, the situation in Haiti is not simple. I mean, just one person is not going to come and solve all our issues. There is no Messiah on this earth that is going to solve all our issues. However, we can learn, and we can apply, and then we can build communities so that we can be successful together. So I'm encouraging people to value relationships. We're encouraging people to live a life that is according to principles, biblical principles especially, and then use all our brain power to grow the businesses that we have. Now, if the business environment is good, probably we'll do better. But even if it's not good, we'll be in the better position so that when it opens up, we'll be there and be able to encourage others. So my hope is that we can be part of the solution to create jobs in this country, and through that to create more wealth for all of us.
I love it. I love what Pastor Genty said, that when you apply all the principles, that even if the business environment is not good, you may not grow as much as you would like, but you will sustain nonetheless, right? It's a win-win-win proposition. Pastor Genty, thank you so much. Deborah, thank you so much. Wendy, congratulations to you both and Pastor Genty. Thank you so much. Looking forward to bringing you guys back here when we're ready to go to Haiti, and even after we come back from Haiti, to let the people know how it did. Is that okay with you guys?
Can't wait.
Let's do it. Let me pray for you guys.
Thank you. Before you go on, thank you very much, Patrice, for hosting this and inviting me to be there. Thank you, Deborah, and thank you, Wendy. It's been a good experience getting to know all you and the community that you represent. There is a lot of love, there is a lot of caring, and also there is a lot of knowledge among you. So we hope that all this can be used to make this Haiti experiment a very good one.
Thank you so much. Amen. Thank you so much. Well, let me pray for you, our listeners and viewers. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord enable you to steward those talents that are under your care in the way that He's enabled Pastor Genty to do, from the Barnabas leadership to church, now to the Community Center, even as a missionary. And to steward them in such a way that one day you can hear those wonderful words, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You've been faithful over a few things, and guess what? He'll now make you rule over much." God bless you. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.